Hey everyone! I guess it's Sunday night recording again for me. So this week's topic was blocking and the rehearsal process, and I enjoyed reading about the ideal, and then at times, as usual, because apparently I'm me, I would get super pissed off because they are great in theory, but the reality is when you work with students, you have to change so much. So I'm gonna kind of talk about my rehearsal process and also the goals that I've set for myself this year. So I've kind of armed myself with binders. This is my big boy binder. It's what I'm slowly putting all of my stuff into. I'm trying to do the one central prompt book. I also have like my pre-rehearsal script, which has all my notes and grossness in it. And then because I'm music director as well, I have my script or my vocal score with all of that in it as well. Anyway, that's just to show you that I have way too much stuff. And as teachers, we wear a million hats. So I've mentioned in my blogs, the only person I hire from outside is a choreographer. I could do the dance, but I cannot find the energy to do the dance. I'm a music teacher as well, so I naturally do all the music directing for our musical and all the directing, and then I run all the crew too because yay, that's what we do. So our rehearsal process, I literally print out, it's been the same for a long time, on a nice little piece of paper. Look, this one says October Shrek schedule, November, December, and then I get them a note about January, but I won't get them January's until I get there. And so I try and be super, super, super organized. I have my choreographer on Thursday, so every Thursday rehearsal says choreo or blocking or vocals. It says choreo and vocals, I think. So typically I try to divide and conquer, and she takes a group and I take a group. On Mondays, I tend to only have principals so that I can really work on blocking and characterization and maybe some other vocals. I do mark what I'm working on for the kids because they're not always all cast. I try really hard to not have them sit around, although sometimes it happens. And I tell them to bring homework, and sometimes they do, and sometimes I have to yell at them to stop talking behind me. But again, the reality of students. So I am kind of bound to what the school gives me. My rehearsals are from 3:15 to 5 o'clock, 2 times a week for cast. And on Tuesdays, or my crew is from 3:15 to 5 o'clock, 2 times a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. And then after Christmas, for the 2 months before the show, we add a Sunday rehearsal with everyone, including the pit band. The pit band is student done. I do have a conductor that does that. The other band teacher does that, and it starts up soon and only runs 1 day a week until they join us. Being organized is the key. And with only an hour and 45 minutes to rehearse, starting on time, getting a warm. All right, I always start with announcements and attendance, and then I jump right into a group warm up, and then I explain what we're doing, what our goals are for the day, and we kind of take off. I have blocking pre-planned, but a lot of my blocking I change. And so I have a stage manager, a student stage manager, who's constantly recording exactly what it is, and he is the most up to date. So most up to date blocking is never in my prompt book. So he leaves his stage manager script at the school at all times, which is great. Maximizing rehearsals with students is huge. So I actually have my kids, and I even pulled these, fill out contracts with their parents. It explains absolutely everything, and I function for cast on a 3 strikes you're out policy. And they can use those 3 strikes for any reason they want. And if they're sick, they usually come and take notes, like in real theater, but this year we can't because of COVID. So I'm having them Zoom in. Luckily, not a single kid has missed yet because they're so excited that musical theater is actually happening. But this contract is huge, and it means you sometimes weed out the kids that are gonna quit anyway. And I have a slightly different one for crew because I'm more flexible with them. The other thing that's super challenging that I wanted to touch on this is, and just words, hope that maybe someone else is dealing with this. So I am putting on a show this year, but of course we have crazy COVID restrictions. So I had to pick a show that we could live stream. But then also, if our students are in learning groups, and so if the other students aren't in their learning group, they have to either social distance or wear a mask, which means I don't necessarily have to have my cast in masks, but then I would have to block all of it social distancing. So my challenge this year is I keep planning my blocking and then going, oh, Are they wearing masks? Is that character wearing a mask? Is that character, oh, does that character need to wear a mask? Can I do this social distance? Because kids can only project so much vocally. So my big challenge this year is to make my blocking look natural, plan it, but then somehow keep the COVID restrictions. So one of the reasons I picked Shrek this year is because there's lots of animals and animals can wear masks. So we've ordered singing masks and we're painting them with the character spaces that we want, and we're hoping that that works. But a lot of my blocking, I'm trying to do social distance, and that's hard. So I've got a cast of 21, which is smaller than normal, but I can't have the whole cast on stage and properly social distanced. So this is my challenge this year. So on top of being even more organized so that I can keep these kids safe and make sure they're sanitizing and there's no contact and all that, but still have fun. That is my number one goal. My number two goal this year is to do more table work. Most of my principals are grade 12 this year just because of how my talent pool came. This is their fourth show with me. They're amazing. They're ready for more challenge. So I'm going to do more table work and I'm going to bring that in. And then I already forgot my other goal. Dang it. If I had time to look it up, I would. But I'll write it in the comments. It's in my other post. So I'm well over time again. And these are my thought processes on a Sunday night after editing a video for 13 hours. Because in Canada, it's Remembrance Day. And as the performing arts teacher, that means you're in charge of the Remembrance Day Assembly, which is in the School Act. And this year it's virtual. So it was all film. So I'm tired. And thank you for listening to the rambling theater teacher and her blocking rehearsal process.